Hey y'all. When you haven't had a dream in a long time, maybe think about looking at a fairy tale. Fairy tales come from the same place that dreams come from. They are laden with symbolism. They grew out of the archetypes of human experience. They have been repeated through the generations as statements or teaching about the human condition. They're not for children. They're for all of us, although they do serve the purpose of educating children. Let's take Cinderella, for instance. Cinderella is a story that most people are familiar with. Did you know that there is a version of Cinderella in most cultures around the world? And through time, there is a story about a young woman who has undergone terrible trials and tribulations and privations, and there's an opportunity to meet a prince or a nobleman or someone that seems to be of high birth. There's usually a shoe or a sandal involved. So let's look at Cinderella for a moment from the perspective of the Northern European telling of the story, which is sort of the source of the Disney version, if you will, that so many of us are familiar with. And the elements in Cinderella are really interesting, and they are often in common with other fairy tales. For instance, in Cinderella, she starts out as being motherless. Something has happened to her mother. And her father, who in many tellings of this story is also sort of absent or distant, has remarried, so she has a stepmother, and she has some stepsisters. Now, if we think about the heroine of any fairy tale as the ego, for instance, what part of me is this? This is my ego. Cinderella is in a strange place. She is without her mother. She has been relegated to the basement or the kitchens. She's been given menial work to do. Here's our undeveloped ego kind of creeping along, learning how to get along without our parents supervising every single movement. Separation from mother is a necessary step in our development. So is coming to terms with the less than attractive parts of ourselves, as represented by that stepmother and those stepsisters. Stepmother is power hungry. Stepsisters are vain and silly and petty. And these are parts of ourselves that we have to contend with and come to terms with. What part of me wants power at the expense of relatedness and relationship? What part of me can stoop to pettiness, to whining, to complaining, to vanity? There's a little of that in all of us if we are honest. But these are things that we have to come to terms with. In the story of Cinderella, there's a spiritual dimension that arrives. A fairy godmother. A version of the wise mother. And in our Disney version, animals also, our instincts come into play. The fairy godmother uses those instincts to elevate, to put us in touch with something numinous and holy, and transforms us. There's an aspect of the spiritual that transforms us, the way the fairy godmother transformed Cinderella so she could go to the ball. Now, parties and dreams, balls, parties, receptions, that's a real coming together. That's a real example of unifying all the parts of myself have come together in a celebratory way. And if I, as a young woman, as Cinderella, have come to terms with these less than attractive parts of myself, I have grappled with the part of myself that wants power. I have also grappled with the part of myself that is vain and petty and silly and all of the things that the stepsisters represent. If I've come to terms with those parts of myself and I understand them inside myself, and I can live with them, hold them in check, understand when perhaps the use of power is appropriate, then I'm ready to go to the ball. And at the ball, I meet and fall in love with, and he falls in love with me, the prince. Now, here's where this story really leads us astray sometimes, and that is to think about it in a literal sense, that there is some outside agent, some special man, some special situation that is going to make us happy and make us whole. But let's think about it in dream terms. When a woman dreams of a masculine figure, it's her own masculine energy, the ability to get stuff done in the world. And if he happens to be a prince, then that masculine aspect is in training to become sovereign. And so we can tap into the energy of being able to control our power and be sovereign over our own lives. Not look outside of ourselves for someone to be sovereign over us, but to integrate the sovereign aspect of ourselves. Oh dear, and then things happen. There's a time constraint here. Midnight. Something has to happen. The shoe gets lost. Such are the ups and downs of our spiritual development. But what about that shoe business? The idea that we have to find a fit. We have to find something in our lives that fits us, a purpose, a meaning. What are we going to do with ourselves? How are we going to act in the world? Where do we fit? And when we find that fit, you see, then it all comes together. So that's a way of looking at the story of Cinderella, of the fairy tale. It's like a dream.